guys, it's the Walking Zuru Dead here, king of the anime and manga boxes and a lover of all things geeky here on YouTube. So today's video will be the final part of my top 30 anime of all time. Now this is my personal favourite. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, as I've said in the last two parts. I'm not going to go, oh, this deserves to be number one because everyone loves it. This deserves to be number two because everyone loves it. No, this is my personal favourite. It comes down to, what entertained me, what pulled me in, what series is that I actually love. I'm not going for shit like character development or world building or any of that bollocks. I'm going for flat out fucking enjoyment, because when I watch a series, I don't watch it as a fucking reviewer, I watch it as a fan. So these are my top 10 of all time favourites. Enjoy. So coming in at number 10 is a modern day classic, and I don't use that term lightly, it truly is a modern day classic. That is Welcome to the NHK. Now this follows Sato, who's a hikikomori, which basically means a shut-in in Japanese. He's also a NEET, which is not in employment, education or training, and it essentially follows his life as a shut-in. This young girl knocks on his door one day and basically tries to give him a bit of a social life. As well as being a shut-in, he's going a bit, cuckoo, because he's stuck indoors all day playing RPGs and wanking off the hentai. But he has this conspiracy that the NHK, which is this news organisation website, or station, is basically trying to produce mass hikikomoris. And this is a real intelligent comedy with a lot of dark drama to it, a little bit of hint of satire, and the themes are great in this series. They really tackle some social disorders, and it is a brilliant series. There's no action, there ain't no fucking big titties. It's just a great comedy with some solid drama in it, and I highly recommend you check out Welcome to the NHK. So coming in at number 9 is one of the best horror anime, well, it is the best horror anime I'm going to say that I've ever watched, and I love the psychological aspects of it, and that is Shiki. Shiki is basically a series about this secluded little village in Japan, which is slowly getting overrun by Shikis, which are basically like vampires, and how the villagers at first think it's a disease killing people, and then over time, you see the village members getting picked off one by one, and these are characters that they'll get episodes you're invested in them, and then they get killed and turn into a Shiki, and then they're trying to kill the other characters that you're invested in. And what I love about this series is it's the first series where I've ever seen the heroes flip-flop into the villains flip-flop into the heroes in a sense. There's a point in the series where you feel really sorry for all these people that you've invested in because they've now become, blood-sucking demons. And this series starts off really slow, but there's a reason for this, because it's there to stew and boil over and, really slow-pace that storyline to build up and build up and build up to the second half where the series just blows its load, and it's a great slow-paced psychological horror. And there's some really interesting characters, it's got gore, but if you like something with a bit of thought to it, how the pacing is, it'll start off slow, but if you realise that it's meant to start off slow, then this is a great series and I'd highly recommend it. Shiki. At number 8, I smell danger. I smell guns and violence and knives and blood. It is Bacano. Now this is an incredible, chaotic, fast-paced, naughty, proper fucking naughty little series. It follows mafia hitmen and immortal alchemists trying to steal each other's souls, and it's set in 3 different time zones that all sort of blend in the story, and it's mainly set on the flying pussyfoot, this train. This series has got some incredible characters, lots of colourful, charismatic, badass, wacky characters. Lad Russo, Jacuzzi Splot, the Rail Tracer, mate, this series is good. This series, when I found it many years ago, it was unheard of, and then it blew up and got all the recognition that it deserved, and I'd highly recommend it. This is a great series. If you like things like Bebop and Black Lagoon and anything mafia-wise, you should definitely check out Bacano. I, the walking 00 Dead of the Phantom Group, command you to subscribe and like. At number 7, it's Code Geass. Yo, one of the greatest series of all time. Another one of those series that I just fell in love with and I sessioned. I wasn't a big fan of season 2 though. That ending was absolutely incredible. It basically follows Lelouch, this young guy that gets a Geass, which is the power of the king, this thing in his eye where basically he can brainwash you into doing anything he wants. And he uses this power to try and take down Britannia for his sister, this massive empire like the British Empire, the Roman Empire that ruled the world. He wants to take it down. This series has got some incredible like chest, like military strategies in the fights, which are, you know, you're never going to see it in any other series like in Code Geass. Tons of great characters, interesting deep themes, honestly great animation, great voice acting. It's one of the greatest of all time. I bought the series twice. I bought it on DVD, then I got the collector's editions on Blu-ray. Highly recommend you check out Code Geass. So coming in at number 6 is an anime that isn't my typical genre or style. I mean, I never watched this sort of style, but it had such an incredible fan base that I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And I fell in love with this series. I thought, holy shit, this is a great series. The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Probably a lot of people are like, holy shit, Harry, he's on your list, Ed. And I'm like, oh man, it's really high up on my list. I fucking love this series. It's such a fucking kooky, weird little series. It follows Haruhi Suzumiya and Kyon. Kyon is this guy that goes to school and he meets this wacky girl called Haruhi, and she, you know, she sort of like introduces herself and she says, I only want to talk to aliens, time travelers and espers, and you know, she's trying to find excitement, enjoyment, and it basically winds up that she's essentially the god of existence in this world. It's such a weird, kooky, charming little series. I don't know what it is about this series that I love, but it's just fucking awesome. It's like episodic. There's a season 2 called The Endless 8, which kind of uses that Groundhog Day effect of repeating the same thing over and over again. I think the first half of season 2 slows it down, and that's why everyone really hates it. I think if there was more changes in each episode of season 2, it would have made a lot more sense and it would have been a lot better. Then you've got, you know, the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, the movie. I bought all of it, man. I love it. I just love Haruhi. If you want something really different and wacky and kind of charming, I really would recommend The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Coming in at number 5, Cowboy Bebop. Yes, it's Cowboy Bebop at number 5. This has always been on my top 10 list. This isn't nostalgia, I just think this series is amazing. It follows Jet, Spike, Faye, Edward and Ein the Data Dog as they live on the Bebop and they're like bounty hunters. This is very episodic, you know, there's tons of wacky episodes. There are like, I think it's about 5 core episodes of storyline with the Red Dragon Syndicate and Vicious. But this series blends everything, every sort of like genre together masterfully. You know, you get some noir episodes, some sci-fi episodes, some comedy, some satire, some drama, some action. You know, it's such a great series. For its times, you know, incredible music, blends like jazz and rock music, and it really suits every episode really well. You know, still one of the very best dub casts in any English anime of all time, I reckon. Still to this day, it's incredible. You know, badass fights. I think a lot of people forget about the awesome like dog fights and the fighter jets and like car chases. The action is top on point. The animation for its time still looks beautiful and fluid when it comes to action scenes. I mean, a lot of people nowadays bash this series and say it doesn't deserve the credit that it gets. But I honestly am one of those people that thinks that, you know, it deserves everything it gets because it is one of the timeless classic anime. Check out Cowboy Bebop. So coming in at number 4 is a real diamond in the rough that no one's ever really heard of, and that is Gankutsuo, the Count of Monte Cristo. Now this is a retelling of the timeless classic, the Count of Monte Cristo novel, but it's given like a cyberpunk sci-fi retelling, and this is a real chess game of revenge. Now it doesn't follow the Count, it follows Albert, this young man who lives in Paris, who's like really wealthy and he lives in a life of privilege, and he goes to the Moon Festival and he meets the Count, and they form this like friendship, and Albert's sucked into him. He looks up to this guy, he idolises the Count. You know, and the Count, he's a character that's full of mystery, and he's an enigma, and he's just full of charisma as a character on screen, full of charm. You really want to know his backstory, and it's really hard to figure out, is this guy an anti-hero, is he a villain? Because, you know, we see him manipulate and change things and put things in place for his chess game of revenge, and how he manipulates Albert and the people in Albert's world. But my god, this is a good series. And if I'm going to talk about the animation, it uses, it tries something really different with CGI. It puts it on the clothes, so it gives it like a weird 3D effect. And I think it looks really beautiful. and it's something really out there, and that may put people off the way that they've really tried something different with animation, but I would highly recommend this series. Really engrossing storyline, it really pulled me in and I loved every minute of it, and it's a brilliant retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo. I would highly recommend you check this series out because not a lot of people have ever watched it. So coming in at number 3 is my favourite seinen anime of all time. That is Naoki Urasawa's Monster. Now, Monster follows Dr. Kenzo Tenma, this young gifted neurosurgeon who winds up saving the life of a young boy called Johan, and this boy essentially winds up being a serial killer and a master manipulator and a puppet master, and neo-Nazis want him to be basically the next Hitler and rule the world, while, you know, Johan has his own sort of like set of goals. Tenma then gets like framed for murder and he has to go on the run to clear his name, and he goes on the run basically to struggle against his morals of, you know, all life is equal as a doctor, but when does all life stop becoming equal and it's okay to take a life? And you know, he goes on this journey to kill Johan and clear his name, and this is a great puzzle plot, psychological thriller of a series. Incredible characters like Tenma, Johan, who a lot of people say is the greatest villain of all time, Inspector Lunge, this man who's, you know, out after Tenma while he's on the run. You got Eva, his fiance, Tenma's fiance, who's a real piece of shit, gold digging bitch. One of the best female characters that I've ever seen or read in any anime or manga. Oh, just so many great characters, a really engrossing plot. For its time, good animation, solid voice acting. The manga just as good as the anime. The anime is a near perfect adaptation of the manga. Highly recommend you check out Naoki Urasawa's Monster. So coming in at number 2 is a series that's going to make a lot of you shit the bed where you haven't seen a Bleach or a Naruto or a Toriko or a One Piece, and I'm going to put it here. And this series has always had a special place in my heart. It's a series that got me into anime. It's not nostalgia because I can watch this series today in 2015 and enjoy it just as much as I did back in 1997 when I fucking discovered the series, so it ain't nostalgia. I love this series, man. That's why it's number 2. Is it the most critically acclaimed series on this list? No. Does it have the best character development, world building, themes, morals, blah 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 blah? No, it fucking doesn't. Dragon Ball Z! Yes, motherfuckers! Dragon Ball Z! I mean, everyone knows this series. What can I say about it? I love the characters, man. I'm a big fan of Piccolo, which, you know, a lot of people, yeah, they're not on that Piccolo train, but Piccolo is fucking awesome. What can I say, man? Fucking the Saiyan arc, I love that. I love that transition from Dragon Ball, that adventure, that little bit of comedy and satire that gets moved into that sci-fi Saiyan saga arc where Goku gets fucking killed. Amazing. I love the Namek saga and the Frieza saga. You know, we get to see them come up against a villain that's ridiculously overpowering. The first time he turns Super Saiyan with the gold hair and that fucking noise. As a kid, you know, all over the fucking place. Action, explosions, awesome fights. Is it dated in age? Yeah, it is, but this is gonna piss a lot of you fucking off right now. One Piece, Naruto, all that shit will never fucking beat Dragon Ball on a global fucking scale. 30 years later, it's still going strong in the cinemas with Battle of Gods and the revival of fucking F, and it's getting a new TV series. Dragon Ball has influenced culture. You can see this even on other YouTube channels like Trev-chan too, who's like a fucking Walking Dead reviewer. He loves Dragon Ball. PewDiePie, he's going fucking Super Saiyan in some of his videos. This shit has influenced motherfuckers in culture. It is a timeless anime classic, whether you fucking love it or hate it, it doesn't matter. Dragon Ball will be one of the biggest anime in history ever, and there are very few things that can ever touch it, Pokemon being one of the only things that really, if you think about it, can fucking touch it in terms of popularity. It's a hype series. If you've never watched it, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go out and watch Dragon Ball Z. Don't watch Dragon Ball GT. Yo, Dragon Ball! Woo! Geeks and otaku, ladies and gentlemen, we're down to number 1. Yeah yo, let's sail for what? Fuck that shit. I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. This series to me is 1A and 1B. Fullmetal Alchemist, the original series, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. For what this series lacks, this series does better. For what this series lacks, this series does better. so they're one and the same to me. I don't care what anybody says. If you're not on the FMA hype train, you want to know what it's about. It follows Ed and Al, these young boys that live in a world where you can create alchemy, following the rules of equivalent exchange. Their mother dies of an illness and they try and resurrect her, and their body basically gets ripped apart in equivalent exchange. So they go on a journey to find the Philosopher's Stone, and that's all really I want to give you. What I love about this series is the first time I ever watched it, I was engrossed by everything. An incredible journey between two brothers, really strong themes of like racism and slavery and war. Oh man, and there's like religious themes in this series. A massive cast of colourful characters. There's going to be a few characters that you're going to end up loving, whether it's a Roy Mustang, a Scar, a Hawkeye, an Ed, an Al, a Lust, a Greed, a Father, a Dante, an Alex Louise Armstrong, you know, oh man, a Ling, a Greed, whatever. There are so many fucking awesome characters in this series. Incredible music, the score fits, you know, the drama and the action perfectly in the episodes. A great cast of English dub. I've never watched it in Japanese, to be honest with you. Animation for its time, beautiful. Animation for its time, beautiful. Oh, this series is the shit. And I honestly think the series is really, in a sense, a little bit underappreciated for just how good it is. I mean, a lot of people, when I see these in top 10 lists, it's at number 10, number 8. And I think when you break these series down, every element of this series is absolutely solid. And I love it. And me and Merlin from the Phantom Group, we did like a splooge fest of a podcast of why we love Fullmetal Alchemist. I might put that in the description box so you guys can check that out. But, you know, this will not be knocked off my number 1 spot unless I find a fucking incredible series to knock it off. And so far, it's on a motherfucking pedestal up here in the sky. So yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist. So guys, that was my top 10 anime of all time, the final part of my list. Now in the comment section down below, I want to know what are your top 10 anime of all time, and you know, give me your thoughts on some of the anime that are in my top 10. What did you think? Do you like them? Do you not like them? If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, give it the old thumbs up, share it around. Thanks for watching guys. May the sun never set on the British anime empire.